Alright guys, sorry for the wind noise if there is any, but I just got set up at the second spot. Got a couple holes drilled here right next to each other for sight fishing, and I got fish rolling under me while we speak, so hopefully it's not just from my movement. Hopefully they're active, hopefully they're going to keep rolling through, hopefully I can catch some. So hopefully the lighting's not too bad in here. It's kind of hard in a dark shack, but I got them charging it already. Crappie. Just a little crappie. There's about 10 of them down my hole right now. It's pretty ridiculous. I actually fished this spot yesterday, and it was pretty tough, so hopefully this isn't just the beginning. Hopefully they're gonna keep going crazy, but we're gonna get back down there, hopefully get some big bluegills. Decent little guy there. There was a really big one by him, so sometimes it's a cat and mouse game to keep it away from these, but still a nice fish, so we'll take it. The wind is just howling out there, so not the best of conditions. I'm kind of surprised they're this jacked up right now, but hopefully it lasts. Another decent one, nothing crazy, but still a nice fish. Seems like a lot of them are coming in to just grabbing the tail of my bait and then spitting it out. Luckily this one came back and ate it again, but see if they keep doing that. I might have to downsize a little bit or shorten up my bait. Another small guy. Lots of these down there though. Hopefully the big ones will roll through. I think what might be going on is sometimes with this early ice they can just sit in one spot for a long time. I think because it's so windy today, it's kind of making this ice do some noise, and I think it's moving some of these fish around a little bit because they're really flying through, and just a matter of getting some that are hungry to swim past my bait. So I'll stop talking and catch that one. Not too bad a fish. Not big, but still fun on this early ice. A little bit better one. Maybe a 8-incher. They're really pretty too. That's one thing about Okoboji bluegills, they're clear water and pretty fish. Alright guys, I got the hat cam on for you now. Hopefully you can see alright, but as you can see I got 2 holes drilled here. Makes it kind of nice if you want to sit back in your chair a little bit. You can still see a good angle at your bait, so That's a pretty decent one. 8.5 for sure. Another beauty. I actually didn't have the camera rolling for that one when he ate it the first time, so I let him spit it out while I turned the camera on. They don't usually let you do that, but this beautiful bluegill did, so we're gonna let him go. That's all I'm using again, guys, right there. A little sneak plastic. It's a split tail. Not real big, not real small, but just perfect for these bluegills. It's another dandy. I didn't think he was that big, but definitely a nice one. They're acting just like they should. They're coming up, checking it out, making sure your bait's all on there straight, and once they inspect it for a few seconds, they're gonna come up and they're gonna take it. So it is one really good thing to check, is always make sure your bait's on there straight. With these bluegills, they're pretty picky in this clear water, so your bait's always got to look perfect. They definitely come in groups, it seems like. Right now I got about 4 or 5 5-inchers, and then you'll get a group of bigger ones. Don't think this one's very big, but not big, but still about as fun as it gets, bluegill fishing. All I'm using here is just a short rod. This is a 13 fishing rod. A 16-incher is about perfect for this sight fishing. Just got a 1-to-1 Black Betty fly reel on there. But it's just a great combo for the shallow water for sure. If you get too long a rod, then you got to keep your hand back here, and it's just not quite as convenient as staying close to the hole. So that's what I got going. I got 3-pound fluorocarbon on here. A lot of times I'll use 2-pound even. If they're super picky, you can go to 1 pound, but most of the time you're pretty safe with 3-pound or 2-pound. Just a little fella, but he had good intentions, so I figured I'd let him take it in. Uppercut hook just gets them right in the top of the lip about every time. I'm using a little tungsten with an uppercut hook is what it's called. It's a 13 fishing tungsten jig. It's called the Doug. One of my favorite ones. It's got a nice horizontal presentation. Fits a lot of different plastics really well, and that uppercut hook really, some people don't think it's true, but that little angle on that hook pointed up a little bit just catches those bluegills right where it's supposed to about every time. Another little tip for you guys why I drill this little bit bigger hole. So a lot of times when you're sight fishing, they're pretty picky, or some of the big ones can be picky. So what I like to do is, if they start backing up, sometimes I'll put the rod tip of my rod just away from them, and it makes my lure spin the opposite way, like it's kind of getting away. A lot of times it really works. It really engages them. They think that bait's trying to get away. I don't move it much. I just make it move away from them about 1 inch, and sometimes that's all it takes. Alright guys, so that's what I got on there. Had a few bigger ones come in lately, and some of the bigger ones haven't really been taking a good look at it, so I'm going to try something a little different that I do sometimes. I'm going to put a little bit bigger plastic on, and then I'm going to switch to black also. Sometimes black can be a good big fish color, especially if they're not looking at your white very much. Just gonna string that right up there. This is more of a single tail bait, so see if they like that or not. It's got a little bit bigger body profile too, so hopefully it'll draw in some of them bigger ones and see what happens. Well, I'd say that worked out pretty good. Probably the biggest one I've caught so far. I just switched to that different plastic and that black color, and he came right up and smoked it. It's a really nice one. Probably pushing 9 maybe. Nice fish. Had a little bit of a lull there for a minute. Might have been a pike moving through, or sometimes they just swim around, so they take a while, but had a few nice ones come through, and that decent one took it, so we're gonna keep at it, and hopefully we can get a big one here pretty soon. Try to give you guys a little bit different view here, as much as I can in a one-man ice shack. Going crazy right now. There we go. Big one came right in and took it right from him. Alright. It's a beauty. That one's got to be at least 9 inches. Off to see another day. Alright guys, I actually just moved spots just about 15 feet away. Starting to get a pretty good puddle on the ice, so just drilled a new hole. I got a GoPro sitting in the hole right now, so hopefully you guys can see what's going on a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that. Not too bad a one. Average. That one was pretty cool. Came right up to it and slurped it right up like they're supposed to. Had to quick get the GoPro on for that underwater footage. It probably be pretty quick, but as soon as I turned it on, he sucked it right in. It's a really nice one. Another pretty nice one. Right in the, he took it head first, so I just lifted up real slow and that hook swung around and stuck him right in the lip. Gave him the old fall trick. Came in so hot he bounced it off his forehead, and usually when they do that they just fall. They kind of settle back down, so I just let my lure fall right down in front of his face, just real slow, and as soon as it gets right in front of him, they'll suck it back in. That's a pretty decent one, I think. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful fish. Well guys, I think we're going to end it on that one. It's a good one to end it on. Pretty good day. First spot didn't work like I wanted it to, but luckily the second plan really worked out good, and they were stacked up here and surprisingly biting pretty good during the daytime. So it's a nice fish. Awesome Okoboji bluegill, and gonna get him back and we're gonna head out of here. Well guys, it turned out to be a pretty good day overall, especially considering the cold front that came through last night. I did have to move around a little bit, but once I found them, they were definitely willing to bite. So hopefully you guys can get out on the ice here in the next couple weeks or so. Even this coming weekend looks pretty good with these cold temps here this week. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope to post some more videos here shortly, so we'll see you on the next one.